So I didn't really get a chance to like get all prettied up for you and get all nice and do this. So please excuse the attire. But I had to like get this video out because I got a few more that I want to start getting to work on. And that brings us to the topic of this episode, and that is what would happen to somebody from Antifa if they went to prison. Now, currently, I'm not um, aware of any members of Antifa getting any prison time. I'm not aware of any conspiracies involved in that organization that's put them up in the system in any way. I don't think that I've ever even met somebody from Antifa inside the prison systems whenever I was. Because I've been all up and down the state of California, done time in numerous prisons, been in and out of prison since the early 1990s. I've been to the California state prison system, been in the feds, been in county jails in 3 states, Texas, Oklahoma, and California. And I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of different kind of people, and wherever I go, it's usually always the same kinds of folks, just different organizations, different ideologies, sort of a little bit give or take. But in dealing with who we're going to be talking about today and why I would strongly suggest that anybody from Antifa don't get yourself caught up in a prison time, and here's why. All right, so Antifa, what does it stand for? It stands for Anti-Fascist Americas, from what I understand. It's a left-wing communist organization inside the United States that is looking to combat white supremacy, right-wing nationals, alt-right politics, conservatives, Republicans, any supporter of Donald Trump, the American flag, and everything else. Now, don't think that this is going to be a video about bashing Antifa. I'm not going to get into bashing the organization any more than I'm going to get into bashing any other organization. That's not what this is about, right? I got some friends that are leftists, that are communists, and I got to tell you, like, I'm a free-thinking individual. So if I agree with some of the things you say, I'm going to tell you I agree with you. If I disagree with you, I'm going to have the balls enough to tell you that I disagree. I'm not one of these status quo, subscribing to political correctness, bowing down to other people's emotions and feelings all over the place every single day of the week. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not about that. Doesn't mean that I'm a horrible person. Doesn't make me a racist. Doesn't make me a fucking whatever. No, it don't, because I ain't none of that shit. Don't believe in racism at all. I think racism is weakness, and it's perpetuated by weak, cowardless, spineless people that just don't have any common sense. And that's all the way around the board. I don't care if you're a white racist, a black racist, a brown racist, or whatever racist. Racism exists in every single race. Miss me with that bullshit that it's only perpetuated by the ruling class. That's not true at all. Because if that was the truth, then there would be nobody of any other race in any position of power at all in this country. Because you'd have to ask yourself, right? How many refugees were running to get into Nazi Germany back in the 1930s when Hitler took power? How many Jews, Africans, Asians did Hitler have in his cabinet? None. So to kind of compare the fight that a lot of these people in Antifa is trying to, this image they're trying to portray about the ruling class in this country, and this philosophy of who is in control and all that, doesn't really hold up to the acid test when you take a look around at how many people of color actually have money, or rich, and have power status in this country. To me, the one thing that I do agree with a lot of leftists and communists is that capitalism has created a ruling class system where there's the rich and the poor, and that's it. And the income inequality is out of control, and there's a lot of elites and special interest people and shadow organizations that are pulling all the strings and that are keeping us all divided. I agree with a lot of that. Don't really get into the whole racist aspect of it, because it's not what I see every day in my life. And the one thing that I can say about it, though, is it's a noble goal. It is a noble goal. But I would strongly encourage members of Antifa to relax. a little bit on the assault and the destroying of property and throwing caustic chemical milkshakes on people and all that. Because what I just heard in the news is that the United States government is looking to classify Antifa as a terrorist organization. When that shit happens, bro, that's all bad. All bad. Every milkshake you throw, every bat you swing, every window you break is now going to get you some real time. And what would happen to you if you did some real prison time? We're not talking a couple of days in the county jail holding tank or the local city jail or anything like that. What would happen to members of Antifa if they were to go right into the prison system? All right, now think about this. Since Antifa is an anti-racist, anti-fascist organization, the first thing that you would encounter once you get into the prison system is, wow, this ain't politically correct at all. Nobody gives a fuck about your emotions. Nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. Nobody's using gender pronouns, any of that stuff. There's no safe spaces. There's nothing. There's nowhere to go to get away from the negative, nasty, unpolitically correct environment that you'll be living in. You'll hear people talking bad about women, people talking bad about everybody. It's just the way it is. And if you're going to go in there and think that you're going to tell somebody to stop that, you're going to start chanting no fascist USA and all that, man, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, because one of them skinheads or something like that is going to bring it to you. And I got to tell you, them dudes ain't going to let you punch them in the face and just walk away. They're going to stick something hard and steel right up in your ass. And you're going to wish you never went down that road. So if you're a white member of Antifa, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go into the prison system. Right off the bat, they're going to see you're a white dude. All the whites are going to rush up on you, and they're going to be like, what's up, Wood? Well, you know, where are you from and all that. The minute you pop off talking about I'm Antifa, and I don't play all that, it's over for you. You're done. You're finished at that very moment in time. Or if basically, let's just say you keep it hidden. You decide you're not going to say nothing. You're going to go ahead and roll that because you're scared as fuck, because you don't have some little skinny Asian reporter in front of you, or you don't have a bunch of old men with MAGA hats on and stuff. You got some fucking crazy ass looking motherfuckers like this guy. Yeah, look at that guy. Those are the kind of people you're going to be looking at. I mean, you go up in there, and let's say there's 4 or 5 of you. One of you's, 2 of you are white, 1 of you's black, and another one's Chicano or something like that. You're not going to mix with your fellow members of Antifa in there. You're not going to go move in with your fellow comrade who's black and share a cell together. You're not going to eat together. You're not going to hang out together. None of that stuff is going to happen at all. All that stuff's going to be shut down, because your people are going to tell you not to do it, and his people are going to tell him not to do it. Now, if you're Chicano, it's a whole nother ball of wax. So in California, where a lot of you have your activities, California, even Oregon, Washington, same shit, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Texas, I could go on and on, New Mexico, any of these states right here. White supremacists, skinheads, white organizations that rally around white power and stuff like that, they're a dominant force in the white race in there. They're a dominant force. They run everything. You're not going to just be, well, I'm just going to do my own thing. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man. So you can go ahead and forget about that. So that's the white part. So if you're Chicano, let's say, and you get busted for some Antifa stuff, you punch somebody in the mouth or you pour a milkshake on them, let's say Los Angeles, or let's say San Jose, because that's where I saw a big battle once before. Now you're going up into the system. Now, if you get busted up in San Jose and you walk up in there and you're Chicano, right? All the Norteños up there are going to hit you up and like, well, where you from? Well, I'm Antifa. Well, what the fuck is that, homie? They're going to, well, what the fuck is that? Well, what's that? Well, I'm an anti-fascist. They're like, okay, well, who you run with? What are you? Norteño, Sureño, with Baiso? What are you? And if you don't have the right answers, you're going to get beat up, especially by the Norteños, because they don't fucking play, man. But let's just say that you get let in, and they're like, well, you get somebody that has a little bit of patience with you, realizes you ain't ever done no time or nothing like that, and he's like, all right, check this out, homie. So since you're from Northern California, you're gonna run with us. You up under us. You basically do what we say. We got the reglas, we got the house rules. You're gonna have to shoot your paperwork in. We're gonna have to make sure that you ain't got no weird charges. We got workouts starting out at 6 a.m. You're gonna work out, no yelling through the doors, no doing this, no doing that, and that's what it's gonna be. If you're from Southern California and you mix it up with the homies, sureños like that, they're gonna ask you, well, where are you from? Same thing. Well, I'm Antifa. Well, what the fuck is that? It's got a 13 behind it. You sanctioned by the big homies. Well, you don't have the right answers. You're probably gonna get beat up. Probably gonna get fucked up, right? Because you ain't gonna be allowed to run paisa like that. Because unless you're from Mexico or something like that, and it's not gonna happen. Them dudes ain't gonna let you in because you're a liability to them. So you're gonna have to run up under the sureños. You're gonna be like, well, I'm not from a gang or nothing like that. Okay, you ain't from a gang. You run a resident. Make sure you get your paperwork together. Exercise at 6 a.m. Here's the house reglas. Here's what you do. Don't mess with any of the blacks, and don't walk into any of their areas, and keep the peace. And don't do anything stupid, and don't be the reason we get our program fucked off. So that's what you're going to live by. That's where it's at for you. That's the county jail. Now, once you get into the prison system, the same thing. Now they're going to ask you to have your paperwork. You're going to have a certain amount of time to get that paperwork together. Better not have no weird charges. Better not have snitched. Better not have volunteered any information at all whatsoever. Or you're done right then and there. You might as well just PC it up, go to the S&Y yard, and do your time. But then you're going to have to deal with like 2 fivers and everybody else that's in there. So there's no escaping it. Prison is not the place for somebody who is a member of Antifa. So that's why I would say to chill, right? Don't get that terrorist label, because then you're going to be locked up in the system and you're going to have to deal with the shit that I'm telling you about. Because like I said, man, remember the first picture of the dude that I showed you? That guy. Look at that guy. Damn. That's going to be your cellie if you're a white Antifa member. So let's just say, for example, this guy ends up in the cell with this guy. Damn. Okay. How about this guy with this guy? Fuck. All right, another one. This guy with this guy. How about this guy with this guy? All bad, man. Or any of these guys with these guys. Crazy, isn't it? That's what it is. That's who's in there. That's the kind of people that you're going to have to be living next to and dealing with every single day. That's prison. And these ain't, like I said, these ain't people you're just going to run and punch them in the face and think they ain't going to hit back. Because you hit one of them, there's going to be like 10 of them who are going to be stabbing you to death. They're going to straight turn the garden hose you out. You're going to be turned into Swiss cheese real fast. And like I said, in any other ethnicity, members of Antifa that go in there, you're going to be faced with the same thing, man. Same thing. Now, if you get busted on the East Coast or something like that, it might be a little bit different. You could probably be that white dude that's, talking about, yeah, man, I don't run nothing, I don't do nothing, I hate racists and all that. A lot of them dudes that are on the East Coast, vice lords, gangster disciples, Latin kings, stuff like that, will probably make you their bitch and probably have you doing their errands, make you their errand boy, and that's where you at. Can't get away from it, man. Prison is a dangerous place, and it's not for social reformers and stuff like that. It's never been a place for that. If you get caught up in the feds, just don't go to USP, because then you're going to be faced with all this. They're going to look at your register number, and they're going to look at your state code. And whatever state code that you fall under, you got a Texas state code, a California state code, it's going to be those people that are going to approach you. And then they're going to demand that you have paperwork, that you're solid, that you follow the rules, that you do this, do that. You try to run that independent shit, you might be able to do that in some places, but most places you can't. So these are things that you really need to think about in going forward. Because I'm all in favor of social justice reform. I think that it's great. I think that you should keep fighting that fight, because somebody has to do it. But the way you're going about it, you're drifting towards getting that label, that terrorist label. Now remember, who runs the Department of Justice, who runs the presidency, who runs the Senate? These are the 3 parts of the branches of the government, or the 2 branches of the government and 1 department that's under the branch, the executive branch of the government, the Department of Justice, has the power to designate anybody they want as a terrorist organization. You got that guy William Barr in there, and he's gonna slap that on you. And the next shake you throw, you're gonna find yourself doing 5 years in the state penitentiary somewhere. And it's all bad at that point, man. It's just it's somewhere you don't want to be. So keep the fight up, keep doing your thing. Do it Martin Luther King style, man. Kill him with kindness, kill him with love and kill him with joy. But don't kill him with milkshakes and with bats and punching somebody in the face when they got their back turned on you, or slapping some 75-year-old man down on his ass, because it's just going to get your ass put in the state penitentiary, and you're going to be in for a world of fucking hurt, because all of that shit that you're fighting for out there is on an everyday basis inside of them prison blocks. And you ain't going to be able to change it for nothing. Nothing, man. Remember those guys that I showed you? That's what you're going to be selled up with. So let that go ahead and sink in, man. But like I said, don't get all in your emotional feelings and all puffed up and looking for your safe space, because I basically am just telling you the truth. I'm trying to save you from getting your motherfucking ass killed or beaten half to death or raped or God knows what. Don't go down that road. Don't get yourself that label put on you, that title, and don't be doing the things you're doing anymore to get it done. Fight for justice, do it the right way. Other than that, stay away from prison, man, because you do not want to be in there. You do not want to be in there. I'm just telling you that because I care, man. I care about your safety. You can call me whatever you want. Start trolling right here, talk your shit. I don't really care. But I'm telling you, you don't want to be in there. You just don't. It's not the place for you. It doesn't fit your belief system. And it never will. So, keep the fight alive. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay strong. Lead by example. Stand proud. Stand strong. Stand for something. But don't stand for violence. It's going to get you that label. Learn from MS-13, man. They wish they didn't have it on them. But they do. And a lot of street gangs got that shit now. And they wish they didn't have it. Don't get that. Chill out. Relax. Give peace a chance. Peace.